Bryan, I know you don't want to come out of the game in that moment, but just how important was it to stay on the top step and watch what Gabe was able to do? Because it seemed like you were about as fired up as we've seen you all season.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to support your guys, but especially in a big spot like that and a game that we desperately needed. But yeah, Gabe did what he always does and came through, and yeah, it's a big spot there to put up a 0, so it's huge.
How long did you stay in the dugout after you came out of the game?
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. Do the next inning maybe.
Yeah.
Like you want to watch and stuff, but you got treatment and stuff to get done. Obviously, plan on winning in 9 innings and then getting out of here. So,
Great.
But yeah, I mean, if I had the choice, obviously with like time and stuff, I'd stay there all day. But
it just seems like there's been like a more of a fiery edge with you over the past few weeks. I mean, what can you kind of say about how that has blossomed and part of your game and your personality when you're out there on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think has just kind of slowly developed over the last year or so. Some stuff that I've worked with Bryan on, kind of just finding an edge and, always a reason to just kind of, it's not always like, right away. It kind of happens naturally, but when it does, just kind of let it go and, see where it goes. It's always kind of a controlled aggression, but definitely something I'm working on using, and it's helped.
Sorry. Considering some of the guys in that lineup over there, what did you feel like you did particularly well tonight?
Executed late in counts much better. Didn't really get ahead super well, or as well as I'd like to, but later in counts did a much better job of getting ahead. Got a couple of quick outs, which is always nice, and then efficiency and executing late is kind of always the name of the game.
Bryan, the Yankees had won every game for you that started this year. You know what kind of challenge it is facing an ace like that, the way he's pitched this season. What's that kind of experience like for you, going blow for blow with a guy like that in a game like this and showing up like you did?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's got to lose at some point, and it will not be me, right? No, I mean, yeah, he's pitched super well all year. He's, perennial Cy Young candidate and All-Star, and but yeah, I mean, at some point someone's got to step up and do it, and try to come out, set the tone, show them that we're here too, and try to back up my team as well. So.
And you came into this season, you had the injury troubles last year, and now you've done something that it's just you and Zach Wheeler have done, gone 6 innings in every single one of your outings. Just what does that mean to, especially after last year, just come in here and be that consistent guy that goes deep into games, especially with everything the staff has been through this season? Yeah,
obviously it kind of not the way that we wanted to start as a staff, especially with the injuries and, just haven't had as much success, I think, as we're used to. But I think it's just, like I always talk about, just try to be consistent, try to, know what they're going to get out of me every 5th day, and, be that role and kind of that guy that I think the rest of our staff has done a really good job of the last couple of years of every time that they've, gone out to take the ball, they're horses, they go deep in games, they're efficient, they're attacking guys. So I think, watching those guys and, like you said, the last 2 years just kind of frustrated with injuries and stuff. That's kind of something I always wanted to do and wanted to be. So, just trying to be that as much as I can, and then, have all the faith in the world that our staff is going to come back and be as good as we know we are.
Got a 2-part question here, Bryan. What was the feel on your fastball and your breaking pitches, and then what about the selection and sequencing with Cal help you get settled in after inning number 1?
Fastball and off speeds felt good. I feel like when they feel similar in terms of intent and my ideas with them and kind of process of how I want to throw them. If they're very similar that night, like the feel is similar, I think that's going to be a good night. If they feel, very different in terms of and how I want to execute them and how they're coming out of my hand. If they feel very different, then it's not exactly ideal. But yeah, Cal's always great. Woody's always great. Done a much better job, I think, recently of communicating between innings of the next couple of guys coming up, what we see, what their approaches look like the first couple at bats, and how we want to go on them. So it's been a team effort, but I think everybody's been on it.
I think we talked about this in Boston, but what is it about the sweeper that's either feeling more comfortable this year or just being more effective for you that you feel more comfortable throwing?
I think it's just trust and confidence, honestly. Like nothing really physical, like small adjustments I think that I've made physically, but it's just a trust and it's a confidence pitch that you just got to go out and throw it. If I spike it 30 feet, I spike it 30 feet. I get the ball back and do it again. Like it's just kind of living with the good ones, living with the bad ones, and just kind of keep throwing it. But yeah, just kind of trust and repetitions and stuff throughout the week, and then you go out, just let it rip.
What have you learned facing this year's version of Aaron Judge?
What's that?
What have you learned facing this year's version of Aaron Judge?
Yeah, he's really good. It's always
Is it kind of fun though to face not just Judge, but like that's a really solid lineup. Like, does it kind of bring out a little extra edge in you, or like you're excited almost to see how your stuff plays?
Yeah, for sure. I think you're always, if you're truly love just competing and playing at the highest level, like you want to face the best and see how you match up against the best. And yeah, him and the rest of the lineup are all they're the ultimate test. So I want the ball in that moment and go to toe to toe and just try to trade blows and see who wins.
All right. Thanks, Bryan.
Well, what a ball game tonight. Start with Bryan Wu. Fantastic. We talked a little bit ahead of time about his fastball, and it's a good fastball hitting team. But, I thought he mixed in his stuff really well. He and Cal worked very well together tonight, putting together a really good game plan for these guys. And he went out and really executed outstanding work. Then the bullpen was phenomenal as well. Gabe coming in, putting the fire out, and then Matt Brash, his inning. Mooney really pitched really well, and I thought bounced back really well after the run scored, and got the next couple outs, gave us a chance in extra innings, and then of course Vargy threw the ball very well, Stranding guy third, and Legumina. So just a great job all around by the bullpen. Offensively, when you get a chance to try to beat a guy like Fried, it's going to be tough, and I thought our at-bats were really good. We put a lot of pitches on him early. The first inning was real quick, but after that, I thought we got his pitch count up pretty quick, and then we were able to get in the bullpen. But some great at bats, and then obviously in the 10th or 11th, a great at bat by JP, just to go with that pitch and pick up the game winner. But up and down the lineup, bullpen, defense was good. I mean, it was just a great ball game all around for us.
And even on a night where he's got 3 strikeouts, JP's just been primed for a lot of those big clutch late innings moments. What's going through your head as he steps into the batter's box?
Yeah, I mean, he hits left-handers very well. This is not your ordinary left-hander either. But he hung in there, and when he's able to stay in there like that and hit the lefties the other way, that's when he's at his best. And you're right to come back there at the end of the ball game, and to be able to put on that kind of an at bat, get that first pitch and drive it that way, was huge. And that's a big win for us tonight.
Off the bat, did you think it was fair?
I thought it was fair. It sliced a little bit more than I thought it was going to slice, but I thought it was fair off the bat, and that's a big time knock right there in a huge situation for us.
When you think to the 12th pitch AB from Solano, the 9th pitcher from Williamson, to kind of get Fried's pitch count up there, how key were some, not just those, but there was a couple at bats where you guys seemed to battle through and keep fighting to get him out of the game?
I mean, that's what we do. I thought Donnie Solano had a couple really nice at bats tonight. Fighting, getting deep into counts, hitting the ball hard on the barrel. But that was an outstanding at bat. Ben, puts together really good at bats, and it's a big part of what we do. And when you've got a guy like Fried and you're making him work that hard, I think that makes for a difficult evening for him, and we were able to really get that pitch count up to where they had to get in the bullpen. So great job, again, bottom of the order, making it tough, and getting us a chance to flip the lineup over again as well.
Dan, can you expand a little bit on what you've seen from Ben? It seems like maybe the last stretch he's been getting figured out by the league, but he gets that knock there late just to push things along. What have you seen from him as of late?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a give and take when you get in the league, and he's learning. He's learning how to play here. He's learning to play every day. There's a lot going on. Defensively, been very, very solid, and has had some huge at bats for us, and some big RBIs today. That was just a really good piece of hitting. That's the way he's approaching his at bats. He loves that right center kind of lane, and he's very true to who he is, and that was just a great opportunity for him there, and he came up and delivered big time.
Dan, at what point Bryan has set down 15 in a row? In detail, what did you like about the way that Cal was calling that game with him, and the way that Bryan was also responding?
Yeah, Bryan's fastball is just so good, and I just was really impressed with how they mixed in some of the secondaries, but then they were able to get with the fastball as well. And as we talked about, it's a very good offensive lineup. But the way they mixed, the way they went at hitters, the way they were aggressive, I thought Bryan was ahead in the count, quite a bit tonight. It was just another, outing where you see Bryan just mentally just get so locked in, and just deliver a huge outing for us tonight. And that was some big time pitching for him.
And that's a big spot in the order that you put Brush and what's coming up. And what are you seeing from him, just kind of in terms of where he is, and how are you seeing him separate further and further from the IL and what he's been through?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there always is that a little bit of a learning curve when you come off the IL, especially when he's been on it as long as he has. But it has not taken him very long, and to be in that kind of a leverage situation pretty quickly. And for him to respond like he did was phenomenal. And it was kind of his lane. We had talked about it prior to that's a really good spot for him. And he just went after it and was aggressive. Some really good breaking balls tonight, slider and curve. He just went after him. And Matty is. He has come a long way, and it's come a long way very quickly, and it was great to see tonight.
And given how the homestand had gone so far, I know it's only 4 games, but just how much was today a reminder that you guys, at your essence, you pitch well at home, and just kind of getting back to that foundation?
Yeah, every win's a big win, but tonight in some ways was a big win for us to kind of get back on track and seeing what our guys do. Our guys, nothing's wavered from how they approach things. Tonight, the at-bats were great. The pitching was great. The defense was good. That's what we do, and to see it kind of pay off here, and especially in an extra inning setting, that's what we do, and that's how we do it. So it's good to get good results from that too. It's not going to be good results every time because it's a long season, but tonight was it's good to get some good results.
And Bryan has been your guys' most consistent pitcher in terms of just going deep into the game. He entered the season having the least amount of innings on the staff. Just how impressed have you been by seeing him be able to do what he's done so far, and how important has that been for you guys with the injuries to the staff and everything that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, he's been our guy that has gotten very deep in games here early on, and it's been a big lift. And you talk about, kind of helping out the bullpen as much as you can, and that's been a big part of it. But, he's been efficient. He's attacked the zone. He's gotten ahead. And he has just been, so solid for us here in the early going. And to me, not so much a physical adjustment, more just, again, a mental mindset when he goes out on the mound. And you can see it in him. And it has been, it's been really powerful to see that, as we've taken the season here. And it's been very effective for him. He's gotten really consistent results with it.
And is that a little bit of an edge with him?
Yeah, like I mean, you can see he's locked in, and he's hungry, and he wants to get after it, and he didn't want to come out of the game, and those are the tough situations. But he is just a guy that wants the ball, and he wants to be in those situations, and you love to see that.
And Spire in the seventh there, maybe in a pocket we haven't usually seen him in all righties. Has he evolved from being like a lefty specialist or a lefty leverage arm to just a leverage arm period?
Yeah, I mean, Gabe throws just as well against the righties as he does the lefties, and then I think he has thrown the ball so well here in the early going, and has just attacked. I mean, again, another guy that's just taking that mindset of attack, and uses the fastball so well, and then able to drop the slider in too. So, great to see him. He ended up getting a lot of right-handers tonight. And he was able to work through it and did a really nice job for us there to get us out of that inning.
And going back to the at-bats, you guys, the lawn ones, like you mentioned, but it seemed like there were also a couple like hard-hit fouls that, were just a foot away from potentially be something big for you guys. When you guys have those kind of hits and when your timing's on like that, how does that help, especially in a game like this where it's so close going into late and then extra innings? Yeah,
I mean, these guys were, the at-bats they've been great, and sometimes we had the ball down the left field line that looked like was just foul over the third base bag or just to the left of the bag. That would have been a couple of runs there, but again, they're putting the at bats that they're supposed to put on, and they're finding barrels, and they're getting pitch counts up, and again, that's not the goal. That's just a byproduct, but they're just in there fighting and fighting hard, and that's what happens when you do that.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Huh?